Um, Many countries are dramatically changing business models we've seen, but also at the government global approach. So there's particularly one country, India, I think, who is very interesting. If you had to tell me one name of someone that could come on stage right now to explain how incredible is India, who would that be?
Well, my wife and I traveled to India fairly recently, and there was one person who's dominant in that country, very well known. He's almost a mythical figure. His name is N.K. Goya, and if he was here, he would say some very interesting things.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Gary, and I'm really, really happy to welcome on stage Mr. Narendra Kumar Goyal, who joined us today right from India. Magic. I'm really happy seeing you after all these minutes. And well, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Monsieur. Bonjour, if I am correct. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. First and foremost, kindly excuse me for my inability to deliver my speech in French, which I believe is the most beautiful language to express one's thought, to reach out to the beautiful audience of handsome gentlemen and ladies present here today in the shadow of Eiffel Towers and the famous French perfume. And I will share with Gary, this is the first time I am here with such a good audience and with such a good atmosphere. Few weeks ago, when my dear friend Mr. Gary, President CAA, with whom we share very good relationship, and we are joining CAA for the last 3 years, I must say here in the beginning that CES is the world's largest consumer show, and once you visit there, you find the world in a different way. Lots of products, lots of innovative companies, and the arrangements are wonderful world over in the CES. So when Mr. Gary invited me to speak along with him in this forum, I was a little bit amused on what could be the thoughts behind such an important invitation. Needless to say, and as a faithful, gracious friend, I accepted the invitation, and my friend, Mr. Thomas Pellissier, Vice President, PPP Agency, who is the organizer of this excellent event, I must say compliment to him, and I thank him very much for the excellent arrangements made here and for getting India here. I stand before you to represent more than 1.2 billion Indians who are now leading global economy by GDP growth of 10%. As you know, in the last few months and years, when the economy was going down, perhaps India was one of the shining stars. The country, having a lady president, Pratibha Patil, a renowned economist as the Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh, and one of the best known innovator in the world, Mr. Sam Petroda, who has changed the way the world communicate and the world innovate. India, as you know, today is known as the largest free, democratically run country, and its name is reflected in the top 5 countries in information technology, telecommunication, satellite launching, nuclear science, and of course, our greatest asset is our youngest generation. Today, if you look at the world, we are not in a position to feed, clothe, or provide shelter to world's 6 billion people. Imagine what will happen 5 decades from now when our own children will face a situation and where the population would be 12 billion. This is the mankind's greatest future challenge, and I also think this is the greatest opportunity for all of you innovators here. The greatest scientist of all the time, Mr. Newton, once said there are many Newtons, and I can see so many Newtons sitting in this hall. My best wishes to all of you. I know that this event brings lots of innovators together, and I'm proud of that. Innovation, as you know, is expected to overturn existing systems and protocols. So striving too hard to control innovation, devise strategy, and planning ways of innovation perhaps is the way to kill it. And I have learned it from Gary, from CES, how to innovate, and the type of passion which Gary has and CES has for innovation made me to come here also. Open innovation, when done successfully, truly encourages a creative thinking, and perhaps the solutions are found outside box. As we all know, in the case of NASA, where they faced a problem of solar flare prediction, the solution came from cell phone industry. Over 99.8% of the world population today is excluded from any involvement with scientific and technical research, and less than 1/20th of 1% of the world's population is engaged in the planet leading as research effort. If this continues in the coming next 5 decades, 8% of the population will live in sheer luxury and 92% live in abject poverty. We today, all of us together here, carry responsibility to correct this economic divide. I am sure by the close of Paris Digital Forum, we will experience and witness mankind's creative thoughts, which will undoubtedly and ultimately safeguard the future of this planet. And I share here the vision of Gary for the next 5 years, for the safe car, for the internet, for the robots, for the planet. While generations of India grew up believing everything that was wrong was India and how it only contributed to the world was the invention of zero or tablets, it has now changed now. Some of the best innovations in recent times have come from India. We know that Google Finance is an Indian creation. Microsoft built its largest development center outside US. More than 20% of development activities of SAP are done in India. Apple iPhone, I believe, was designed in Bangalore. Fourth largest technology center is now in India, in Bangalore, where they have filed more than 5,500 patents. India is also known for innovating very, very small but useful things. A cycle that runs on water, a scooter-powered flour mill, a solar mosquito killer, a cycle-powered washing machine. They are just few of the examples of over 100,000 outstanding innovations that has come from school dropouts and poor people from India. Some of our innovators have got patents in US, and we are thankful to the US Patent Office that they don't even charge the fees when they come to know that these are innovations from very poor people. In India, a mechanic has developed a device which absorbs carbon content from generators, engines of 10 to 12 HP. This device absorbs exhaust gases, making it clear. Looking at the potential of this thing, Government of India has formed the National Innovative Fund, which has a database of more than 40,000 innovators, mostly from uneducated innovators. Our volunteers, I'm sharing with you how do we promote in India the innovations. Our volunteers go on a journey of discovery to remote areas across India. They have many students who volunteer to do this job, and they are briefed to look for 3 I's: interesting, inspiring, intriguing innovations. Once the innovations are identified, a trial and search is done to make sure that this innovation is unique. Sometimes the product may be distinctive, though not in existence. It could be a modification of a product, and then the proof of concept is verified. At times, innovation is not refined to become a product, so we give them design and fabrications. Today, I think the world knows about India's Tata Nano car, created from scratch in the record time at a cost of US $2,500. India is also innovating, as you know, a tablet PC weighing 400 grams with touch screen, Wi-Fi enabled access at a cost of US $35. India is launching unique ID for its citizen, first time perhaps in the world, where we are going to give biometric mobile phones to our 1.2 billion citizens. Not long ago, a young girl of 9-year-old from India was the youngest microfied certified professional. A potter and clay baker devised a small refrigerator made from clay that keeps the water cool and fruits, vegetable and milk fresh. The beauty of India is, given the little bit of soil, it has lots of innovation potential. The beauty of India is we are the market today. As you know, we are second largest for telecom. We are adding world's largest, around 18 to 20 million cell phones per month. I personally believe that most successful companies are the ones who have taken risk and innovated to do something new and unheard of. As you know, Samir Bhatia, the innovator of Hotmail, came from India. Today, India has grown to the largest market, and the products of all of you we have in India. I personally take leadership lessons from Mr. Gary Seperio, as I told you, and I thank Gary for creating lots of leaders in the CES and in the World Electronic Forum world over, including India. I'm delighted to announce today from this platform CMI contribution of corpus and creation of Overseas Innovation Forum for India, the first of its kind in which the Government of India will participate along with leading industries, and this forum will act as a single window for any new products coming to India for marketing from innovators like you. Welcome to Incredible India. I also request organizers, why don't we have the next Innovative Summit in India? Today, I thank all the audience here. It was a wonderful experience for me to be with all of you. Let me conclude by sharing a personal thought and an antidote. Last month, I gifted an iPhone to my grandson, an iPod to my granddaughter, and they gifted me iPod, and then the problem started. And I gifted them iron. What is this iron? Iron is something which I hope will come up from all of you. Thank you very much. Bless you. Thank you.